universality, equity, and efficiency. We hope this short production gave you a better insight into what a national health insurance is all about. For more information, contact the Secretariat on telephone number 439-6447 or email us at info@nhigrenada.org. You can also look us up on Facebook, National Health Insurance Secretariat Grenada. Don't forget to like our page. In our next production, we explain the difference between equal healthcare and equitable healthcare, another major feature of a national health insurance program. I am Abigail McIntyre, Communications Officer for the National Health Insurance Secretariat, saying thank you for listening and do join us again next time.
Grenadians are well known for being friendly, hospitable people, so let's keep it that way. Here are 5 tips that you can use to better serve visitors, customers, and each other. Smile while interacting with persons face-to-face and on the phone. Maintain a warm, friendly tone when greeting someone. Be polite when asking a question and offering items for sale. Ask your guests if they are comfortable and enjoying the experience. And in all that you do, exceed expectations. Tourism benefits everyone. Tourism is everybody's business.
Seatbelts are not as confining as a wheelchair. Drive carefully. A message from the Traffic Department of the Royal Grenada Police Force.
The strength of the iron, it's in the testing. Bring them up. It's not a loss, it's just a lesson. Be grateful for your blessings. You've been digging deep to find that inner strength. No, it's not the time to give up. No, nah, 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 nah. I'm telling you, nothing they do will never defeat me. We control your destiny. I'm telling you, take your hand and point it up in the ceiling for me. I feel so irate. Wake up and I'm ready. Must make it ever steady. Setting goals is necessary while they hiding. Precious time they wasting like a disease is that spreading. Now it shift their eyesight. I say, I don't know why. Some will worry about that next man's stride. Try to match up and next man life. Fix your life. And as soon as I start walking on, you want to make something must be wrong, yeah man. I don't come here for that, all you help me burn and dirty. I'm telling you, nothing they do will never defeat me. Because show me your destiny. I'm telling you, take your hand and point it up in the ceiling for me. I'm telling you, number one, we don't come to make nothing from them. I'm telling you, people, music, look, everybody chanting. I'm telling you, people, business, while we continue blessings. I'm telling you, don't corruption, them so everybody
Good morning, Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique. A special good morning to those of you listening to us on 97.5 City Sound FM, 89.5 CRFM, 92.9 Sister Isle Radio broadcasting from Hillsborough, Carriacou, and of course 94.9 We Noise Radio out there in Brooklyn, New York. You're listening to Hard Talk Grenada. A special good morning to those of you joining us on the live video, whether it's on Facebook or it's on YouTube. A very special good morning to you. All right. It is a beautiful, beautiful Monday morning here in the Spice Isle. I know at this point in time, our fellow Grenadians in Carriacou, on the island of Carriacou, and PT Martinique are celebrating Carriacou Carnival. You know, they are having a wonderful time. I've seen videos, I've seen pictures, you know, from friends and family members who are really enjoying themselves in the festivities, all right, while Carriacou celebrates their little piece of culture. All right. It's been a very eventful weekend. Of course, you know, once the weekend passes, a lot is being said, a lot is being done. But of course, we are grateful for life. We are grateful for the information that is being shared with us on a daily basis. You know, we definitely want to ensure that whatever it is that we listen to, whatever it is that we share with others, that it is factual. And we're going to talk more about that, you know, because I definitely have a few things that I need to get off my chest today, a few things that need clarifying this morning, you know, so I'm hoping to do that, to do that for you. But of course, I want to give you your daily update on the coronavirus as it stands around the world. We have 37 countries and territories around the world that are affected by the coronavirus. Currently, there has been 79,744,000 people. 79,744 people affected by the virus. And of course, out of that amount, there has been 2,628 deaths and 25,933 recoveries. All right. I want to reiterate that there has been 79,744 affected persons or affected cases of the coronavirus. Out of that, there has been 2,628 deaths and 25,933 recoveries. Thus far, we have had, 9 countries who have been affected by the virus that have had full recoveries of all of the affected persons. All right. And some of the cases some of the countries have had escalated cases over the past few days. Let's take Italy, for example. Italy is currently battling with 229 cases of the virus, and South Korea is battling with 833 cases of the virus. Of course, the majority of the cases still remain in mainland China, with 77 of the 79,000 people being from China. All right, so we definitely want to take those things into consideration. All right, and of course, of the new deaths, the profiles still remain the same. It's still persons that are elderly. Let's see. The latest deaths would have been in Italy. We had 3 cases. One 84-year-old man with pre-existing medical conditions. Another 88-year-old man. And of course, a woman who is an oncology patient. Oncology meaning that she would have had a cancer of some kind. All right. So we're still looking. Of course, we still encourage Grenadians and people across the region to ensure that you adhere to the necessary precautionary measures, the necessary health tips that are available to ensure that in the event that we do have a case, that it does not become an epidemic. It doesn't spread quickly, because we can control how the virus spreads, right? Of course, we know that if you are or have traveled recently and you're coming back feeling not so good, don't just brush it off as a cold. You want to make sure that you take all of the necessary precautions available. Go to your health practitioners, explain to them what your situation is, and of course explain to them that you have recently traveled. All of this information is very, very important to ensure that the well-being of our people, is paramount in all of this. So we want to encourage all of you to make sure that you keep vigilant, keep a watchful eye, and ensure that you be your neighbor's keeper. Share information that is factual, that is beneficial to the well-being of the people of this country, Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. All right, we're going to take a short break, and then we'll be back with some more information for you.
Good morning, listeners. This program comes to you compliments the Grenada Solid Waste Management Authority. The Grenada Solid Waste Management Authority, in collaboration with the Ministry of Labour, will be embarking on a 3-day occupational health and safety workshop towards developing a more comprehensive occupational health and safety policy for the authority. To hear more about this, Mrs. Fleming Baker, the coordinator of the 3-day workshop, will now share with us.
Well, the Grenada Solid Waste Management Authority, in collaboration with the Ministry of Labour and the Technical and Allied Workers Union, we are hosting a 3-day workshop. Okay, it's from the 24th to the 26th of February. The employees, the landfill employees, that is, the Grenada Solid Waste Management Authority collection contractors and the street cleaning contractors, and also the Grenada Solid Waste Management Authority Occupational Health and Safety Committee members will be part of that workshop. The workshop is geared to address the challenges as it relates to the main mandate of the authority, which is the development of the waste disposal facilities and the collection service. The workshop will be facilitated by the Ministry of Labour, by Mr. Reginald Lord, also Ms. Sheena Pascal, and Mr. Clint Gilbert. They will be the main presenters for the workshop. The topics that they plan to cover for those 3 days are the evolution of health and safety systems in Grenada, the psychosocial issues associated with solid waste, the biological issues associated with health and safety issues, also personal protective equipment, ergonomics, and the terms of reference for the Grenada Solid Waste Management Authority Occupational Health and Safety Committee. The overall topics were chosen to better educate workers as it relates to their personal health and safety in the workplace. The main objective for the workshop is to develop a more comprehensive occupational health and safety policy for the authority. It will also bring to light the importance of how daily practices at the workplace can have long-term effects on workers' overall health and wellness. At the end of this series of workshops, workers should have an up-to-date understanding of the acceptable procedures regarding occupational health and safety in the changing world. Workers should also be able to adapt to these practices, which will ultimately encourage change in their whole modus operandi. Today, we are seeing a drive worldwide towards a health-conscious society. More and more people are taking ownership of their personal health and well-being, not just with the food that they consume, but also with daily exercise. People are also concerned with the ergonomics and the long-term effects on the body over time. The authority sees these series of workshops and developing a more comprehensive occupational health and safety policy as being of utmost importance if we are to effectively carry out our mandate in serving the country for the next 25 years.
That was the voice of Mrs. Fleming Baker, coordinator for the 3-day workshop. Listeners, we have come to the end of this morning's program. Do join us again next time for another program from the Grenada Solid Waste Management Authority.
Stay up to date with all that's happening with the new National Party, NNP. Send us a message via text or WhatsApp on 405-8683 with your name, email, and constituency. Stay in the know with NNP. Get updated.
All right, guys, and we are back, of course. We're going to start the conversation this morning. It's going to be hopefully a very interesting conversation. It definitely relates to something that would have happened over the weekend, and of course something that we have been talking about here on numerous occasions, reiterating over and over and over. And I'll continue to reiterate, and I'll continue to talk about it until we get it right. All right? Somebody needs to talk about it, until we get it right. All right? But we do need to, of course, be mindful the information that we allow ourselves to be fed. All right. I do want to let you know that the lines are open. It is Monday, so of course I do need to open the lines to you to make your calls, make your observation, make your suggestions, comments, and so on. The number to call is 440-7377 if you're calling locally. And of course, if you are in the diaspora, you can call us at 347-329-3101. And of course, we do take WhatsApp messages. We're not yet able to take your calls on WhatsApp, but we do take your WhatsApp messages at 440-7377 also. Now, I want to take my time with this topic because it is something that would have had very serious implications. And of course, true to our Grenadian nature, we like to run with it. So, an article was posted, all right, in a publication, a newspaper, or online news publication was posted over the weekend. And before I tell you what the publication is, I have a caller from overseas who's very adamant on getting through, and he doesn't normally get through. So let me just take his call quickly. Good morning, caller. Hello. No? It seems like we lost that caller. All right, we're going to try again very soon. Now, it was a publication that was made in the newspaper. Online news publication, sorry. And it had to do with a Chinese plane coming into Grenada on Friday with Chinese officials. Now, the publication made it seem as though Grenada had accepted a plane from China with Chinese to Grenada and risked the general public being exposed to the coronavirus. That is what the publication was meant to communicate. Now, it is very important, and I will say this again because I've said it on numerous occasions, that we have to be very, very careful of the information that we allow ourselves to get riled up about. Now, I will give you the facts along with the official that will be calling in very shortly to go ahead and reiterate on those facts. All right? And I made it my business to comment and ensure that they saw my comments on the publication because I think it was of a very bad taste and irresponsible of that individual to do that. Now, I think my official is calling, so let him speak on it first, and then I will further reiterate on the topic. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Ms. Dong.
Hi, good morning. How are you, Kevin?
Good.
All right, wonderful. Well, you called just in time.
Okay.
Your timing is perfect because we were speaking about the publication that would have been done on Friday, I believe it was, making reference to a plane that would have landed on our airport. And I'm sure that you would have some information that you would like to share with us as it relates to that.
Yeah, quite a lot of information,
All right.
Yeah. First of all, let me say, that I had the opportunity of reading the article. I even have it in front of me here, this morning.
Mm-hmm.
And, I want to see first to discredit that what the article says. It says, the new today can confirm that a plane carrying a small amount of Chinese national landed at the Morris Bishop International Airport in the wee hours of Friday morning. That was a lie. And I could challenge the person who wrote that article. That was a big lie. And Kevin Frederick, the communications officer in the Ministry of Health, public relations officer, could stand on any platform and say that was a big, fat lie. And I'm calling them out because I have the facts, and they do not have the facts. Mm-hmm. Now, to say that the plane landed in the wee hours, now we understand wee hours to mean, yes, that anything like, for example, like say 4, I am not even saying 5 because 5 is the height, right? 4, 3, 2, I'll say 1, and mm-hmm. That is a lie. So let me tell you first and foremost, Chair, the plane in question, 1, landed at 3 minutes past 8 in the night on Friday night. I was already at the airport. So that is a big fat lie. And I could challenge the editor. We could go live on any program because I have with me, now there is something called the flight declaration. We refer to them as flight deck and so forth, right? Just for short. So I have all of that in front of me here because like I said, I was at the airport. Now, the plane in question is like a private jet owned and registered in China. That is a fact. Now, we have vessels that are Grenadian owned but registered in St. Vincent, St. Lucia. That is not an issue. A plane can be registered anywhere, right? But it flies to wherever. That's a fact. Now, added to that, I'll tell you what happened. Now, that flight came in Panama City to Grenada. It had a total of 14 people on board, 10 passengers, and 4 crew members, right? I will repeat that. The flight originated from Panama City to Grenada. It had 10 passengers and 4 crew members, which is a total of 14 people in total. Now, added to that, some of the individuals on their flight had Chinese passport, American passport, and Canadian passport, meaning that they hold dual citizenship. Now, a number of people in Grenada has dual citizenship, so there's no issue with that here. I hope people are getting me very, very clearly, because we know people who have Canadian and Grenadian citizenship, and I think some has Canadian, Grenadian, and American. Now, let me also destroy something here now. In front of me is the entire flight log for that particular vessel or plane. The said crew would have left Beijing on January 26th. And I could share that information publicly. They went to Montenegro. From Montenegro, they came to Grenada, and Minister made that point recently. So they came to Grenada on January 27th. Now, you remember when all this big hype took place, right?
Yeah.
Good. Now, from Grenada, they went to Panama, right? From Panama, no, they were in Panama. They went to Bogota, that is Colombia. From Colombia, they went to Panama. From Panama, they went to Los Angeles. From Los Angeles to Panama. From Panama back to Grenada on February 20. Now, let me tell you something. What I just called it was 26, 27, 38, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 5th, 6th, 12th, 17, and 28th of February. Now, look at those dates, right, when the private flight traveled, and check the days in between likewise here. Now, if the WHO and CDC saying that you have 14 days of quarantine by which the person should a person then should manifest symptoms of the coronavirus. Hear me out very clearly, eh?
Yeah.
Even if you say 25 days or 30 days, yeah, those people would have started manifesting symptoms by that time.
Yeah.
Now, added to that, I have with me here the temperature readings and the names, the passport number, the date of birth, and everything. Likewise, their nationalities in front of me. So I could give you that information here right now. Mm-hmm. I will just give you the readings. I will not call, like passport number and so forth. All 10 people, they were below the required temperature reading for you to be quarantined or to be suspected.
Right.
Now, the maximum temperature is 38 degrees Celsius. We operate at that, yeah? It is also recommended by some use 38.4, 38.5. We set ours at 38. So once you cross 38, we're working with you, especially if you come out from certain cities and so forth. Now, number 1 was 37 degrees Celsius. Number 2, 36. Number 3, 36.4. Number 4 was 36.4 again. Number 5, 36.4. Number 6, 36.1. Number 7, 36. Number 8, 36.7. Number 9, 36.4. And number 10 is 36.1. They are all below the threshold, so there is a non-issue here. So that's what I'm saying, whoever wrote that article, they have some kind of things up their mind or sleeve, it is sensational, and, even the persons who are even sharing it, they are worse than them because they need to double-check, get the facts. So nothing about the article here, is factual. There was no plane load of Chinese who landed in the wee hours of Friday morning. That is a big fat lie. Yes? And there is no risk. Yeah. And let me defend my acting chief medical officer, Dr. Francis Martin, here. When Dr. Martin said that he was unaware of the Chinese entering Grenada and he gave an undertaking to look into the matter, he was correct because we are unaware that any flight landing here in the wee hours. Now, flights don't land here from since after 5 and 6, right? Mm-hmm. The last flight most times will land at Point Selene International, at Morris Bishop International, sometime after 10. I was there up to Saturday night, so I could tell you that. Now, let me be clear. At 8:03 p.m., that time, tongue busy, the airport busy.
Right.
So there was no kind of hiding of anything,
right,
to suggest that the airline landed here in the wee hours. That's a big lie, and I do not know why people will be so much, getting, all of their groove on, I mean, some people, see it like, I mean, as if somebody, is like excited so much to actually spread misinformation. That is total crap. Yeah, because the flight did not land at that time. So they have that person's mind is all screwed up. Yeah, I do not know if it is bent to if they are hell bent on trying, to create some kind of hysteria, mislead the public, either to embarrass the Minister for Health and his team, or to embarrass the Prime Minister and the government of the day. But, it is embarrassing your country too, because you are spreading falsehoods. And if they want a copy of the document, I would be willing to actually publish it. Willing. I do not mind if I have to breach confidentiality just to embarrass these people because they're lying. Come on. It's about time that people stop doing these things. Now, the WHO is really concerned about spreading misinformation, and that is clearly misinformation there. So sometimes, these people will force us to actually do. Now, when we do those things, to prove to the public that we're not lying and we are being open and transparent, they turn around now and say, look, breach of confidentiality because those documents should be confidential. But if you are lying, we have to find a way to shut you up because you're lying. Yeah? And we are passionate about it because we know, we have been, let me tell you something. We are on the airport every single day until the airport closes.
Yeah.
And again, at 8:03 on that night in particular, I could tell you that we were all there, and our nurses, they recorded the temperatures. If you don't believe me, you can ask any one of the nurses down there.
Right.
And the reason why, I guess, it's only a handful of people who have decided to actually share that article, because I'm looking at it now, and only 11 people would have commented with 89 shares. I guess it's because, what? As a Jamu say, the people know what is Calypso. So the people know what's the truth from a lie. I've also seen, another guy, who does lies and so on, sharing it and making some kind of mawet. As Jab King say, mawet he making. Because that is total crap. He's hell bent likewise on trying to maybe drive traffic to his speech. Stop these things. It is totally erroneous. It is misleading, and it is a criminal offense to actually, you're spreading falsehoods, and falsehoods can result in panic. I would support the government 150% if they were to make someone an example, because it happens in other countries. It's about time that somebody be held accountable for those kind of misleading stuff.
I agree.
Because like I said, the facts are here. Now, and I'm saying this to, I will wrap up. I'm going to quantify what I'm about saying, If the author of that article, had said that a flight landed at 12:33 a.m., that is correct. But you see, they mix up the whole thing to create fear. Because a flight from Boston to Grenada landed at 12:33 a.m., which again is like daylight in Grenada. I'm saying that because, during that time, so much traffic up and down.
Yeah.
And we were walking up to that time, It had 16 people in total on board. That flight had 3 crew members and 13 passengers. So what I want to say here, is to get your facts straight and stop telling lies.
Yeah.
So let me reiterate here that no flight, none whatsoever. I, Kevin Frederick, the Public Information and Communications Officer in the Ministry of Health, hereby make oath this very day. Yes? This very day. Monday, the 24th of February, according to my phone, is 10:58 a.m. Do solemnly swear that no plane landed in Grenada in the wee hours, of that morning, as was falsely reported. that was a lie.
Yeah.
And go further to say that the plane landed at 3 minutes past 8 in the night with a total of 14 people, i.e. 4 crew members and 10 passengers. So whoever would have misled the author, I could say this was not no well-placed source at all. That was a source who gave you the information, expecting you to publish it, so that we could come back and embarrass you, and that is what happened.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Kevil, because I read the same article, and what's funny, what's funny about all of this is that the article was posted at, let me see here, at 2:47 on Friday. So how can an article at 2:47 indicate that a flight that came in at 8:03 carrying how many? 16?
14.
14 officials. How is that possible? It means that there was sole intent on manipulating the information for their own selfish gains, which is to create panic among the people and question our health officials.
Well, I have no choice but to agree with you because, I mean, in principle, okay. Now, let me tell you what happened there. If people visit the airport daily, they would see that. And coming around on Fridays and so on, it's like real carnival down there. Since around 2 o'clock, the airport does be busy. Up until in the night, the airport does be busy, people for so. Now, I could tell you this, flights will arrive, at that time. Yeah. And as a matter of fact, no flights will come in. The latest that we have seen when most flights come in here, it's like after 10. Sometimes when they are delayed, they come in closer to 11 and so on. And we are down there. Myself, Mr. Ram, our port health officer, our nurses are down there, Nurse Tanis and crew, Nurse Farry and, Williams and all of them, we are down there. Dr. Martin was down there up to Saturday.
Right.
Our drivers are down there, right? And there are security officers who will tell you that we are down there, And our nurses did check each and every single member of the crew.
Right.
Now, when private jets come in, they go to somewhere called the jet center, and they are checked there. They are checked there routinely. Even before they leave, we check passengers in the jet center.
Right.
So I'm saying, if you don't know, politely ask. Yeah, we may even be willing to take you on a tour for you to see what happens. But to deliberately, say these things and them, I believe somebody would have genuinely misled you, so that we can come back and say, hey, guy, you know what? You ought to be ashamed because this is false. And look, we have the timestamp on the document. We have it, and we wrote in pen each and every single person's body temp.
Right.
So we have it. It's a fact. So I mean, I'm just here laughing and wondering, why people would, go out of their way to do those kinds of things. I mean, it's sad. I do not have the answer as to why, but I'm sure that whoever did that, something is seriously wrong with them. So like I said, if a flight came in from Boston, it's a business flight. It entered the Aviation Business Center for jets, and that flight landed at 12:33 a.m. I would say 0:33 hours.
And that was our latest flight that day.
That was our latest flight, on February 21st.
Yeah. It's quite sad.
So I'm saying again, the flight came in. The flight in question with the Chinese and Americans and Canadian citizens, came in at 3 minutes past 8 with a total of 10 passengers and crew members.
Yeah. All right, well, Kavil.
Now, you know what? Oh, finally, I wish Minister will gladly take up post-cabinet press conference tomorrow, please, Lord, so we can actually put on screen those information, and I hope that a representative from that entity comes and get a copy of it, and I would gladly love to see a retraction of this story and a genuine apology.
Absolutely, I am in agreement with that. They need to apologize not just to the health officials, but to the entire Grenadian population, and especially the persons who would have been misled by this publication. All right, well, Kevin, I know your plate is full, and people just keep adding to it, But thank you so much for calling and clarifying that. You are always welcome. And, of course, it's so simple to get information, and the right information in Grenada, that people, I still don't understand why we fall for falsities. But what can we do? We can only do our best and provide facts, right?
Miss Duncan, before I go, I see one Trevor Robinson asking what difference it makes. The difference it makes is that there are truths. Okay, there is something called the truth. There is something called a lie, and spreading this kind of information. Now, they're trying to capitalize on the heels of... Some time ago, earlier, they said that a plane landed in the wee hours.
Yeah.
So if we let this one rest, Mr. Robinson, what will happen here is that, you know what? Whenever someone refuses to clarify and to set the record straight, the truth will go in a corner, and rumors will become lies. So that is the reason. That's what makes a big difference, not just a difference. Because it was said it was in the wee hours. We are saying that is a lie.
Yeah.
So it is clearly a lie. The wee hours cannot be after 8, sir. 3 minutes past 8 is not the wee hours. And if you're teaching people that is the wee hours, well, I am very sorry. But when it is wrong, we must be big people and say that it is wrong. Now, do not condone wrongdoing by asking what difference it makes. What difference it makes is clear here, that's a lie.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Kevil.
Yeah.
Do have a wonderful day.
All right, good.
All right. Okay. So there you have it. And I hope that the people who are supposed to be listening will be listening. And I hope that those of you who are on this live video will share it with others, so that those who have been exposed to those falsities can have further clarity on what is true about the situation. So a publication by The New Today at 2:47 on Friday would have mentioned or made mention to a Chinese plane landing at our airport at the wee hours of Friday morning, and consisting of Chinese nationals, giving the impression that we are being exposed to our government officials are exposing the general public to a possible case of the coronavirus, right? And that is the implication that they are making. Now, I want to just take this call quickly, and then I would go into further, deliberation on this topic. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Ms. Duncan, and good morning to Grenada.
Good morning.
Well, first of all, let me say my condolences to the Hopkins family.
Absolutely.
Mr. Royston Hopkins would have passed away. I got to know him personally when I came. Actually, I came to do a job for them at their hotel, and the man constantly treated me as if I was a foreigner. I had to keep, hey, I'm a Grenadian. But, I mean, the level of service that I got there, even though I was working on the hotel, I mean, it was superb. And I know he was a stalwart in the tourism department, and I would just like to send out that sympathy. However, on even a more serious topic, this morning I was looking at a video on YouTube where you had this busman
Mm-hmm.
had some tourists, and I think there was an argument between $10. I don't know to pick them up from where to go at this other place, and he was saying I think $15
Mm-hmm.
from everybody, and the price should be to go to the airport was $10. Okay, now this thing got me so angry to know that this guy treated these people as animals. In fact, animals even get better treatment than this. And I don't know if there is any way, and this is, well, of course, it's Grenada, so this person can easily be found. And this is my thing. I think his driver's license should be taken away permanently. He should not be able to drive legally again. I mean, this is total disrespect. And one of the things that Grenada depend on is tourism.
Yeah.
I mean, there is no word actually to describe how he treated the people, man. That's not right.
Yeah.
I'm really pissed off about it. He should. I'm not sure if he can be arrested for that. I'm not sure. That's between the police. I'm saying they know the thing, but his driver's license should be removed. That's totally ridiculous. It's totally ridiculous. I don't like that at all. So
Yes.
yeah, that's my contribution for this morning.
Thank
and
you.
just one more thing. Just one more thing, very quickly. You had a very interesting topic 2 days last week. I think it was Thursday and Friday. But there are also times when parents actually try their best.
Yeah.
And the child goes astray. Now, we cannot blame the parents for that. I mean, people always say, oh, the parents this and the parents that. But there are some parents, it's not all cases, but there are some cases where parents try their best. They bend over backwards, and then the child come out disappointing the parents and society.
Yeah.
And I think that also should be in the discussion. It should always be balanced off.
Of course.
But this situation with this busman really hurt my heart. And not everybody's supposed to. Let me tell you, I honestly believe now that not because you have a driver's license to drive a public transport means to say that you can drive tourists, quote unquote, to go from point A to point B. This thing should stop. Not because I have a bus license means I should just, I mean, if they're picking up a bus on a regular route, fine. But anything as special hire and stuff, it should not be. That's my thing because, and there might be people who might say, oh, what this guy talking? Look at the video. And then you'll see what I'm talking about. And then you're going to ask yourself, is that the right way to treat our foreigners? And we say that we depend on their dollars, on their support for a daily living. Have a good day, Ms. Duncan.
You too. Thank you so much for your contribution. We have another caller on the line. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, honey buns, baby.
Good morning, Miss Jacob. How are you?
Oh, God, I think how that bus driver. Oh, God, he don't nice. He don't good, that tal. And to besides, they say, Granance, Bonje, Lada, Mossy, Granance bus driver is the worst bus driver they have in Grenada. I could tell you that. That Granance, those Granance bus, they stick a police and they kill him, you know. Just not.
Well, let's not generalize it. Some, not all, because we have the good ones.
Good. Yes, my dear darling, I like what what he is a minister.
No, he is the communications officer for the Ministry of Health.
Oh Lord, my brother, God bless you. Oh God, I swear, if I didn't get you, I'd taken you and run away with you. But putting, since I don't can go bring police behind me, so I will leave you. I won't take you and run away with you. Yeah, you give a good account because a lot of things going on. And sister, we have to do something to put some of them in the place. What we have to do If we could catch them, make them pay our money. Yeah, they got the wicked. They lying. And this set of rain, this set of people that raining now. It worse than in Uncle Gary days. It was. Oh, Jesus Christ. Well, Sister Duncan, they want to bring down the Honorable Dr. Keith Mitchell and the health minister, but joke they making.
Yeah.
They won't ready. They ain't ready yet.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your contribution,
You're
Mrs.
welcome,
Jacob.
sweetheart.
All right.
God bless you, and I love you, baby.
You too. Have a lovely day.
You too. Bye-bye.
All right. We have a comment here on the Facebook that says that the security of our country is more important than a few people, politically impotent people. Wow, what a way to put it. But based on Kevil's report, can we get support from the WHO to take legal action against the news entity that and the ones calling and insisting this morning on GBN. Now, I want to read to the general public some information that I think you guys don't have or that you're not aware of. All right, and it's actually an exit from the laws of Grenada, and I think it's important for me to share with you this piece of information because a lot of you believe that freedom of speech entitles you to go around and just say what you want, how you want, when you want, regardless of whom it affects. So let me read to you what this says. It says, whoever with the intent to cause any public alarm or disturbance publishes or attempts to cause publication of any news or telegram which he knows or believes to be false is guilty of a misdemeanor. Let me read it again. Whoever, with intent to cause any public alarm or disturbance, publishes or attempts to cause the publication of any news or telegram which he knows or believes to be false, is guilty of a misdemeanor. Let that soak in while we take this call. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Miss Duncan.
Good morning. How are you?
Miss Duncan, there's something they call investigation journalism. And I do believe, you see what happens, some people know they will have something which is not true, but they will not go out and say it. But they will give somebody to share it, right, to make them look bad, to make them look bad. And you see, one thing I remember people, we have this particular person that is here by that newspaper. Every time we talk about the wee hours, you remember there was someone that they got caught removing himself from the beach at a wee hour in the morning. So that's why I do believe every time the person 8 o'clock, in the night, every time you put a wee hours. I do believe when he goes to sleep, that wee hour playing in his stats, in his stats. I want to say to Grenadians, when people give you something and you don't show, investigate, go to the right source to know what this person gave you, if it's true or not true. As Brother Frederick was saying, someone said, what does it matter? It's matter because when people give false information, and you don't conquer it, and you leave it there to digest, people are going to believe it. So the minute you see people came out with a false information, you have to conquer it. And you have to conquer it with truth. Let the Ghanaian people know what is the truth. As he said, Adam said, the Ghanaians know what is good. And the Ghanaians know who the government care and love for them. Because I want to say to Ghanaian people, if you say you love a country, and there's things going on, let us speak about the positive things. Yeah. Let us speak about how we can work together to bring development to Greater Carriacou and Peter Martin. But to see what happened to this, some of we Ghanaians, we had full of hate, and we can't see nothing good. All we could see, we self. And I will say to people, when you have a heart of hate, it don't make you better, it makes you sick. It makes you sick. So free yourself from mental slavery, free yourself from hate, and fill your heart with a heart of love for country. Ms. Duncan, you have a word for God bless you.
Well said, caller. Thank you so much for your contribution. Now, it is very important for us to understand that when we share something, it has the same impact as the person who would have published it. You know, because we are exposing people who would not have ordinarily come across this publication to it. So a certain individual would have shared it on their Facebook page on Friday night or Saturday morning as well. And I got upset with the individual because I believed that as a responsible journalist, it is your duty to ensure that the information that you are sharing with your viewers, your subscribers, your supporters, people who have confidence in the information that you provide them with, that the information is factual. And I took it to task simply because that person who would have posted it on their social media page would have racked over 100 shares, which means that from that source, from that entity, thousands of people would have had access to that information, which makes you just as responsible for sharing libelous information as the New Today. And this is my problem with a lot of us with social media. That we believe that everything that we come across, we must share. And not understanding the implications, not understanding the responsibility that we have to the people who we are exposing this false information to. So over the weekend, you've had people having conversations about something that was not even factual. You had people cursing the government. You had people speaking all sorts of ill towards the administration that governs the country because of information that had the sole intent of creating a panic, of creating or stirring negative emotions within the public so that they now will turn around and question our administration and question if our health officials have been telling us the truth. And that is what that post and that publication was meant to do. To create upset and unrest. And that, by law, is a misdemeanor. And I really hope that the government takes this publication to task, because it is time. It is enough. We are doing too much. Too much, going too far. It has become ridiculous that we would go at any lengths and any means to discredit this administration. Why? For what? What is the purpose? What do you hope to achieve in doing this? And then what makes it worse is that the same entity would have, since finding out the truth, deleted. We're not speaking about the New Today, because they still have it up, right? That entity would have deleted the post, and that's not what we want. Don't just delete it. Retract your statement. Post the information that is factual, so the thousands of people that you would have exposed to the falsities can now receive clarity on the issue. I heard people speaking just freely and loosely about things that they know nothing about this morning on GBN, to the point calling and making all sorts of statements about the government and about the administration from a post that they received, not even verifying if the information was factual. That's how we put ourselves in problems, because we believe that everything that we read that is not aligning with positivity, that reeks of negativity and corruption, we must associate it with our administration, and then that gives us ammunition without even verifying if there are facts. This post was completely and totally for political gain, and anybody who says otherwise is not being honest with themselves. It is very clear as day, because the information is very easy to verify. It is not information that is hard to verify. Now, how could you write a publication at 2 o'clock? It means that you would have had some forehand information that the plane was returning to Grenada, which means that you did some investigation. Now, I'm quite sure that the investigation that they would have done to write that story would have led them to the fact that the plane was coming in at 8:03, and that it was the same plane that was here on the let me just get the correct date. I don't want to misinform. That was here on the 27th of January, and that plane, along with its officials, did not go back to China, meaning that they were not exposed to the virus, but would have traveled from Beijing to Montenegro, from Montenegro to Grenada on the 27th of January, and then to Panama, and then to Bogota, and then back to Panama, and then to Los Angeles, and then back to Panama, and then in Grenada on the 20th. Your investigation should have led you to that information, because that was fact. But no, if you were to publish that kind of information, it would not align with your purpose. And your purpose was solely to discredit this administration and to discredit our health officials and to mislead the Grenadian public. Shame on you. We have another caller on the line. Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Yes. I just calling concerning the road, yeah? The road. Right in Tantin area, next to the Grenada Yacht Club.
Uh-huh.
Someone have cut some bushes there, right before the craft center, right around the corner. Someone have cut some bushes and left there how many weeks now? Dry bushes. Okay, it's drying. And it's looking bad in the eyes of the public, especially when the tourists pass there, they talk about that. I don't know if they moved it by this morning, but it was their whole time during the week and yesterday up to yesterday.
Okay. Did you try finding out who was responsible for cutting those bushes? If it was a private individual from that area, or if it was workers from the Ministry of Works? So did you try finding out whom would have done that?
I didn't find out that, but what I'm saying, I didn't find out who cut it or who is responsible. But it's between the Tam City and the craft center there.
Right.
Between Tam City and the craft center, just before you enter in Grenada Yacht Club Marina, the bushes are laying in the road, and people have to be driving away from that.
Okay. Is work currently happening in the area, or you said that was there about a week now?
Yeah, 2 weeks. Yeah, week.
Okay. Well, it's probably going to be very important to find out exactly who is responsible, so then we at least know who we should contact in order to get that issue resolved.
You should find out that. I could do that as well, but I think that the transport board, the public, the police should look into that.
Okay. All right. Thank you for alerting us, caller. All right. Okay. Well, it's important for us to know exactly who would have done that, because if we don't know who, then we don't know who to contact to have it removed. But it's important, caller, to find out, all right? We need to start calling people out. And if the government, and this is fact, if the government decides that they're going to take legal action against this, the individual who would have written the story, or even the publication company that is responsible for this publication, then same Grenadians would say victimization and communism, and those sorts of terms would be used against the administration. But you are not taking into consideration the effects that this false story, and many others, by the way, that have been published, you know, that have not been dealt with, that has caused public unrest, that has caused public outcry, misconceptions, you know. Nobody talks about the fact that we are tired of being fed this wrong information. No, you don't. Because what I said last week is that as long as the information being provided is not aligned to what you believe or how you feel about this administration, then you do not react. And that's why we have so many people talking about all sorts of negativities and all sorts of false information and sharing all sorts of false information and jumping into call-in programs and making their points clear and their emotions clear about issues that they know nothing about issues that are not true, because it aligns with what they believe. It aligns with how they feel about this administration. But you would never hear those said persons calling and say, oh, congratulations to the government for fixing these roads, or congratulations to the government for putting this policy in place, or congratulations to the government for this program. You never hear that, because that does not align with how they feel about the administration. And what we fail to realize is that regardless of who you voted for, regardless of how you feel about a certain politician, regardless about how you feel about a political institution, when that institution becomes government, their interest is all of the people of Grenada. Because whenever this administration makes moves to ensure that the roads are fixed, not NNP people alone driving on it, it is for everybody. When this administration seeks to provide scholarships so our children can get further, higher education, it is not for just NNP children alone. It is for everyone. When this government seeks to put policies in place to better the country, it is not for just NNP people alone. It is for everybody. And that is what you guys fail to understand, what you fail to accept, and what you fail to realize, because it does not align with your beliefs. It does not align with how you feel about the new National Party. It doesn't align with how you feel about Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell and his cabinet. And that is a fact. And if you don't believe me, go into any one of those little shops or have a conversation with anybody that is anti-government and just bring up anything that is positive and see if they would say, yes, that was well done. No, the first thing that they would say, they do that, but you didn't realize they do this wrong and they do that wrong and they do. No, because that positivity does not align with how they feel about the new National Party or Dr. Mitchell. It does not. And it is time that Grenadians put a stop to this nonsense. Because at the end of the day, regardless of who you support and regardless of which administration is in office, one thing is undeniable: that they must work for the benefit of the people of the country. And this is what this administration has proven to do. And we all know that there are going to be a lot of naysayers out there who would tell you, no, they ain't working for Grenadians. But some of their same children are the ones that benefited from some of the scholarships that this administration has ensured that are being provided for our children. But they tell you not to go because they want you to believe and support their beliefs their dislikes, their emotions towards this administration. We have a caller on the line. Good morning, caller.
Ms. Duncan, just me calling back. You know the reason why I am calling back? I just got a question from one of my colleagues, you know, and that's a colleague who is one of our regional health communications team member. That's a CAFA network, right?
Right.
You know, and, you know, she called me from Anguilla.
Right.
You know, she said, Kevin, is it true that, you know, a plane load of Chinese landed in Grenada in the day we hours, you know? And I laughed. I said, listen, I said, that is totally false, you know, and I just finished addressing that, you know, on one of the radio shows. So I'm just saying this because, you see, them thing and them, it has far-reaching implications, and you know, it's not just Grenadians who are hearing it, but social media is a worldwide something. So look, you know, she just asked me that question, and I had to, you know, tell her right away, look, that there is no truth in that, you know, and the same information I just provided you with earlier, I send that, you know, to her.
Okay.
You know, yeah.
Thank you so much for letting us know, Kevin.
No problem.
All right. Guys, you heard it. I mean, we believe that when we say certain things on social media, that Facebook for Grenadians is only seen in Grenada. So we feel like we can go on social media and say what we want about our country and say what we want about our health officials and share false information, and it only circulates in Grenada because social media is Grenadian, right? No. Look at that. Somebody from Antigua would have called to verify if it is true that we would have done this. Because you know why? Something like this, a mistake like this, had it been true, has regional implications. Not just for Grenada, regionally. So everybody else would be concerned as well. So you're not only responsible for causing panic within your own country, but you're also responsible for causing regional panic. I mean, something like this must be dealt with seriously. It is time that government stop feeling sorry for some people and start exposing them to the full extent of the law for the wrongdoings that they are doing. Because it is very, very, very bad that you have somebody regionally having to call into Grenada to find out if we would have done this when there is no truth in the situation. How disappointing is that? We have another caller on the line. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Miss Duncan. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good. How are you?
Good man is here.
Hey, well, you're in a good mood today.
A long time ago call. Saying some things here, a topic of it. I think from the road. When NDC was in power, did you the picture? No. People had to take concrete and full of holes. Because NDC don't have no love for nobody. They don't have no care for nobody. So anything happen. But this government have love for people. And you don't do it for yourself. You don't do it only for your family. But you're doing it for everyone. Because we are Grenadians. We are Grenadians getting everything, piece of the pie. So those who saying that all nonsense, because just the last time somebody was asking me, hey, look at Green Mandy. Green Man, I understand playing fool with the I said, no. I said it's that, you know, that they're just trying to damage the country. But when they damage the country, who the damaging? The Prime Minister? No, the damaging we themselves. Because at the end of the day, the Prime Minister, though they are under, you know, it's we are in the country what's feeling the pain. So, and you see, I get fed up with them, man. Sometimes they come and talk with Nancy, me, boy. fed up, darling, man. Every day is one thing. I want to see my country go and for us and my country. So forget it. Sometimes these guys and them don't have no love for nothing. All what they want to be in power. And if one man they don't like, it's Dr. Mitchell. One man, they don't like because he may be a black man, he may be a poor man. But that is the love of Grenada. Everybody love him. Because people see, when 2008, Grenada vote him out, because they maybe get a who they put back? Dr. Mitchell, because they see Dr. Mitchell is fit to build the country. You don't say any ready to kick off. You don't say any ready to do that. Every minute, you ready to kick off. Plane can't go up in here yet. As Dr. Mitchell come, everything flowing. And this year now saying, by one thing with a man in power making $1 against food to my children. So I can't vote for MEC because 4 years and a half, they don't do nothing. People suffering. Now everybody making $1. You don't come in town on Friday. You will see people. People have money to spend. I hardly see people begging. People hardly beg because they have $1 in their pocket. And that is very important. So, Ms. Duncan, you take care. Don't worry them guys are there.
All right.
But man, them is weak. Because I understand they're dividing half. They don't sort in the food, but they all other people. And the people that sort in do their job to make Grenada happy. Mr. Prime Minister. Well, don't worry then. Have a nice day.
You too. Thank you for your contribution, caller. Yeah. I mean, we have to do better as a people in terms of the information that we expose other people to. I mean, I read the publication and, of course, concerned as a Grenadian, just made one phone call. You know? It's very easy to get information in Grenada. That is not hard. But what makes the difference is the information that you choose to share. It's what you want people to believe. You know? So you share a post that says a Chinese plane landed in the Morris Bishop International Airport in the wee early hours of this Friday morning, the 21st. And of course you did that on Friday because, you know, ain't had nobody to say, you know, that is not true. So you have everybody running with this information that is far from the truth. And for those of you who are just joining us, there was no plane load of Chinese landing in Grenada on Friday, wee hours in the morning. That did not happen. That is a lie. That is not factual. But here are the facts. A private jet landed at 8:03 p.m. on Friday night, carrying 14 people, 10 passengers, 4 crew members. The majority of the people on the flight had dual citizenships. They had citizenships for America, Canada, and China. And the flight schedule is as follows. The flight left Beijing on the 26th of January. It went to Montenegro and arrived in Grenada on the 27th of January. It's the same flight. Y'all were jumping up and making all sorts of noise about bringing the coronavirus and exposing Grenadians to the coronavirus, right? It left Grenada and went to Panama. From Panama, it went to Bogota. From Bogota, it went back to Panama. From Panama, it went to Los Angeles. From Los Angeles, it went back to Panama. And from Panama, it came to Grenada on the 20th of February. 21st, of February. And those are the facts. So let us not make people believe that our health officials are not speaking the truth or that you are being provided with misinformation by our government officials. We have another caller on the line. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Ms. Duncan. How are you?
Good morning. I'm fine. How are you?
Okay, my name is Frederick Balanoa.
Okay. Oh, right, Bala, how are you?
I'm all right.
Yes, but Bala, I see your name in newspaper, all kind of thing, you know.
Well, I still just wanted to refute the college Jafari saying in that article. I'm pretty sure the article saying that hours after I come out joking Chinese, I took my bus and drive the nation's hard-working class people. This is not true. I work with a Chinese company.
Right.
And they have transport to transport people. I don't took my bus and carry no Chinese. And I'm going to start Mr. Wong called me on Thursday, on Friday, and asked me. He identified himself as Mr. Wong. I want to know where he get my number. Then he said, well, you have to ask me some questions. He asked me if there was collecting Chinese in the airport Thursday night. I said, yes, I'm Chinese people after it's Thursday. If there was screening, I told him, yes, there's a nurse at the airport. We do screening. You want to know if I wear mask, it's not a concern. That's a concern to me. I don't know where do I pick that. I said, that's no concern. I can't disclose that to him. I was surprised to see on the papers that it was confirmed by me that a Chinese plane claiming way hours in the morning. This is not true. There was about 3 minutes to 5 minutes past 8. A private jet came in and I work with the company. So I went to pick up the people in the company. I don't know, I'm not aware of what they're talking about. My name all on the ride along. All my daughter in America, they call me to tell me that. I mean, these people too ridiculous to themselves.
I'm sorry, Bala, that you have to call and defend yourself this morning. It's never a good situation to be placed in.
Exactly.
Especially when it's not
public
true.
Transport business. People ask me, but I used to drive with you all this thing and trying to tarnish my business.
Look at that.
Which my boss never... I can see... I hope Ms. Faria will really retract that statement and make an apology to me for that.
I agree. It should be demanded.
Yeah, I don't see her ever. I hope Ms. Faria will do that. You should be woman enough to do that.
And Bala, let me advise you. I'm not a lawyer, but
I want to go to a lawyer and talk about this matter.
One thing I believe is that when somebody tarnishes your image in public, they must also apologize in public.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I need to seek legal advice on that because she's trying to put my business. I transport passengers with my boss. My boss don't transport no Chinese. Chinese people had a vehicle. I work with the company for over 5 years. They have their transport.
Yeah.
I don't know why she's trying to imply with me on transporting people and then transporting Chinese and transporting the nation people. She out the order with that. I think she need to apologize to me for that.
I agree.
I mean, that's a business I'm doing. I'm trying to put my business at risk.
It's very sad.
Okay with that. They're only looking for cheap politics. I don't understand them with that.
Yeah. Well, thank you for calling
and I know they are already.
Thank you for calling and clarifying for us, Bala.
You're most welcome.
All right. You too.
All right.
You know, it's a very sad situation. Look, the gentleman now has a business that is completely and totally affected because of these falsities. I mean, when will we stop? Why? Until it reaches our own front door? Will we stand up and say enough is enough? We are tired of you playing cheap politics with us? Is that when we will stop? I mean, it's very sad. Look, the gentleman, and his name is listed in the publication in full, including whatever nickname they would call him by. His private business is now being affected as a result of this erroneous publication. It is disgusting. When will we stop this nonsense? When will we stop playing politics with people's livelihood just so we can get into power? When will that stop? Just because we hate one individual or one political administration, we will go to any lengths as even destroying our fellow brother and sister to get this done? It's a very sad situation that we are placing ourselves in. We have another caller on the line. Good morning, caller. Hello? Oh no, it seems like we lost the caller. You know, it's a very sad situation that we are placing our fellow Grenadians in. Why? What was the purpose? What was the aim in all of this? Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Miss Duncan.
Hi, good morning.
And a good special morning to your listening audience. Well, Miss Duncan, I know there are some frustrated people and a frustrated group of people in this country. But you cannot burn down the forest for one man with all of us in it. That tells you the character of certain people. Now, I understand the frustration because this government is a government that's performing. But like I say, you cannot burn down the forest for one man. Yes, this government has succeeded where you fail. But there is much more constructive criticism you could level against this government. Not with lies and misinformation that's intended to create chaos and assassinate people's character. That's not fair.
Yeah.
Yes, I know when you all left office, we paid $140 million of unpaid claims that you all left in the Treasury. But you all should be glad for that. Yes, we paid $10 million to Nawasa that you couldn't pay. But you're supposed to be glad for the country. The $4 million that you didn't pay to the OECS Medical Fund that we came and paid, this is thing we should be proud of. So we shouldn't be spreading misinformation that we know could create problems in the lives of people that we will go and ask to support us at some time. Yes, we paid over $110 million to public servants, that you could not have paid, but you should glad for our people that that a government could come in and do that. You understand, Ms. Duncan?
Yeah.
We look, we see it, But I understand the frustration that they're going through. You understand? Because, Ms. Duncan, I never understand it too much as a young man. But when you see people lack vision and strategy, whether it's in your personal life or in an institution, things just go haywire. But, Ms. Duncan, we are on the right track here, despite the fact that we have a lot of work to do in this country. We know things is not where we want it to be. But so far, we have succeeded where all those who are criticizing us failed and failed miserably. I thank you for the time.
Thank you so much for your contribution, caller. Guys, we have to do a lot better. And sometimes you have to look, because all of the people, and it's very evident, the majority of the people who share these falsities, if you go through their pages, you will never see any positive publications. No positivity. And even if they attempt to post something that has a positive underlining, in between they swing it and make it seem as if there was something underhanded and sneaky happening. Because they would never be positive. It doesn't align with their beliefs. It doesn't support the way they feel about the Prime Minister. It doesn't support the way they feel about the new National Party. So they will go to any length, including destroying a private individual, to support their purpose. It is a dangerous game that they are playing with the lives of our fellow Grenadians. A very dangerous game, and it must stop. It must stop. We must be the ones to say enough is enough. We have heard, we have listened, we have observed, and we have realized that nothing good can come out of your negativity. You know? Yes, we do not have an opposition, but do you really want an opposition who is hell-bent on destroying individuals just to achieve their goal of being the administration of the country? Do you really want an opposition who has nothing better to offer than propaganda and lies and spewing hate in whatever they say? Just listen to them. Just look at their posts. Read their publications. And you would notice the trend. For over all of the years that they have been in opposition, they have learned nothing. But I don't blame them, because there are the few Grenadians who make them feel like what they are doing is right by supporting the propaganda and sharing the false information and going on radio programs and saying things that they know nothing about and making them feel like they have some iota of power when they do not. Because the only impact that they are making is a negative impact on society. Whenever they open their mouths, at the end of the day, the only thing you feel is some sort of anger, some sort of animosity. They have never once said anything that made you feel like Grenada is going somewhere. And it is. We are making strides internationally, globally. But they will not talk about that because it does not align with their purpose, which is to destroy the new National Party and to destroy Dr. Mitchell at any cost, regardless of who we destroy along the way. Look at Bala now having to call radio programs to support, to defend himself and defend his business that has been affected by these libelous statements. How disappointing is that? When have we gotten to this place that we attack private citizens without care or concern about how their lives will be affected by the information that we are posting, and lies at that? How disappointing. How very disappointed. And then we Grenadians still want to jump on the backs of other people in the region that talk badly about Grenada when we are not representing Grenada in a positive light. How? How? It is time that we stop. We often hear the term wake up and shake up. Stand up, people. But you want people to stand up and protest. You want people to stand up and riot. You want people to stand up and rally behind your negativity. Where is the positivity in all of this? In my view, you're not trying to build a country of people that are positive, a country of people that are growing. In my view, the opposition is trying to build an army of anti-government individuals that see nothing positive happening in the country. And when you do that, remember, your time may well come, and you have conditioned a nation of people to be negative. You cannot expect any positivity from them. Keep that in mind. Guys, we have come to the end of our program for today. As usual, it's been a pleasure speaking with you in whatever you say And whatever you do, be safe, be secure. I always love talking with you. I don't ever want to be talking about you. Enjoy the remainder of your day. Keep safe. And if I have to leave any advice with you today, it would be verify, and verify some more. It's been a pleasure.
The strength of the iron, it's in the testing. Bring them up. It's not a loss, it's just a lesson. Be grateful for your blessings. You've been digging deep to find that inner strength. No, it's not the time to give up. Oh, nah. I'm telling you, nothing they do will never defeat me. We control your destiny. I'm telling you, take your hand and point it up in the ceiling for me. I feel so irate. Wake up and I'm ready. Must make it ever steady. Setting goals is necessary while they hiding. Precious time they wasting like a disease. It starts spreading. Know which if they eyesight. I say I don't know why. Some will worry about the next man's stride. Try to match up a next man's life. It's your life. And as soon as I start walking on, you want to make something must be wrong, yeah man. I don't come here for that, so you help me burn and dirty. I'm telling you, nothing they do will never defeat me. We control your destiny. I'm telling you, take your hand and point it up in the ceiling for me. I'm telling you, number one, we don't come to beg nothing from them. I'm telling you, people music, look everybody chanting. I'm telling you, give people business while we come to need blessings. I'm telling you, don't corrupt and tell so everyone can see message. No bad vibes on my side. We fuel by motivation. Keep sending out good signals. Pay attention to your audience.